Do you ever start a big project knowing it'll take some time? 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but then 8 hours later, you're still working on it? You look up and realize you haven't had dinner and you're way overdue for sleep, but the work isn't even finished yet. What happened? How can we get this done faster? We're going to answer these questions and help you unlock your ability to enter the zone and how to enter insane focus mode. To understand this, we need to look at what happens inside our heads. Neuroscientists have discovered a stylized human brain that is capable of extreme focus and concentration. They call this a flow state because the brain enters a state of intense focus, where it operates at peak efficiency. This state is marked by an intense focus on the task at hand, a feeling of being in control, a loss of self-consciousness, a distorted sense of time, and most notably, peak productivity. It's almost as if you enter a different state of being where you are one with your work and the rest of the world fades away. But wait, there's more. Neuroscientists also found 4 key factors that determine whether or not you can enter this flow state. Once you know these factors, you can hack them to enter the zone whenever you want. The first factor they call flow blockers, which are things that pull your focus away from the task at hand. For example, your phone. Your phone is a major flow blocker because it's designed to distract you. Every notification, every ping, every buzz is designed to pull your attention away from what you're redoing, so you will check it. That's why it's important to put your phone away when you're trying to focus. Because it's not just a distraction, it's an engineered distraction. The second factor is called flow proneness. In other words, how prone are you to entering a flow state? And it turns out that certain times of the day are better than others. For example, in the morning, your brain produces more theta brainwaves, which are associated with deep sleep and relaxation. So it's harder to focus until your brainwaves shift to alpha, which are more active brainwaves that occur when you are alert but relaxed. That's why some people are more productive in the afternoon after their brains have shifted to alpha. The third factor is called flow triggers. In other words, what triggers your flow state? Some people might trigger their flow by surfing, listening to music, or even taking a shot of espresso. But for most people, entering a flow state is triggered by deep work, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's writing a paper, coding a project, drawing something, painting something, or climbing a rock face. Deep work is a powerful flow trigger because it takes intense focus and concentration, which puts your brain in a flow state. It's almost as if your brain is saying, "Hey, this is important. Pay attention." The fourth and final factor is called the flow cycle. It's important to understand the flow cycle because it helps you predict when you will enter a flow state and for how long. The flow cycle has 4 distinct phases: struggle, release, flow, and recovery. In the struggle phase, your brain is tense and focused, but it's not yet in a flow state. You're working hard but not very efficiently. Then in the release phase, you let go of perfectionism and lower your standards. This allows your brain to relax and become more flexible. Next comes the flow phase, where your brain is in a state of intense focus and operating at peak efficiency. You feel completely absorbed in the task at hand, and time seems to fly by. Finally, in the recovery phase, you take a break and allow yourself to fully relax. This is important for replenishing your mental energy so you can repeat the cycle again. So how do we use this knowledge to our advantage? Well, by understanding the flow blockers, we can remove distractions and create an environment conducive to focus. By understanding flow proneness, we can work with our natural rhythms and be more intentional about when we tackle difficult tasks. By understanding flow triggers, we can use activities like deep work to our advantage and enter a flow state at will. And finally, by understanding the flow cycle, we can pace ourselves and take breaks when needed. In other words, by mastering flow, we can master our lives. So if you want to unlock your potential and achieve more than you ever thought possible, then listen up, because we're about to show you how. By the way, it's easier said than done, but don't worry, we got you covered. We've created a guide that teaches you how to apply everything you've learned here so you can actually achieve insane focus. By understanding the neurochemicals that are released when we enter a flow state, we can hack our brains to produce more of them. For example, dopamine is a neurochemical that's released when we achieve a small win or complete a task. By setting small, achievable goals, we can trick our brains into releasing more dopamine and stay motivated. Another neurochemical is norepinephrine, which increases our focus and attention. We can hack norepinephrine by getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, and eating a healthy diet. So there you have it. Now you know how to enter insane focus mode. Remember, it's all about understanding the flow blockers, flow proneness, flow triggers, and the flow cycle, and using that knowledge to your advantage. By doing so, you will be able to enter a flow state at will and achieve a level of focus and productivity you never thought possible. And as always, if you want to learn more about the mind and the brain, make sure to follow for more updates. Until next time, thanks for watching.